Hey folks, this is JW, also known as Ronin785. Go Chiefs. So, in today's discussion over a cup of coffee, let's revisit the concept of tribe. More specifically, what do you contribute to the tribe? Are you even part of a tribe? Now, that tribe could be a number of different organizations, or it could be just a unofficial group of friends and family that are working together and sharing resources and preparing for hopefully things that never happen. I know some people do live in a fantasy world where they hope for zombies and hope for end of the world apocalypse, but for normal people, we don't want those things to happen. However, we want to be prepared for it. Like the old saying goes, it's better to have a warrior in the garden than a gardener in the war. However, when it comes to the prepping community, when it comes to, uh, like I said, this video is for anybody in any organization, really. I don't want to make it specific to any one particular organization. But let me just say that if you're going to be a part of the tribe, you're going to have to consider what do you contribute to that tribe? Are you a consumer or are you a contributor? Okay. So there are a lot of people that join organizations and they don't really get past that. Hey, I joined. Now I'm going to watch some videos, read some things, and that's about it. That's all you'll get out of them. So those are not people that I truly consider as part of my tribe. Okay. So, sorry, I need to trim this up. But those are people that I consider to be consumers, but not contributors. So, if you're going to be a part of a tribe, say there is a tribal leadership, and say somebody wants to from the outside, they want to come in and be a part of that tribe. Really, the things that have to be considered is this person going to contribute to our tribe, or are they just going to be a consumer? And are they just going to be a drain on our resources? Are they going to be a drain on the supplies that we have collectively? Everybody that's part of the tribe is expected to put in work. Not everybody has the same skill set, not everybody has the same abilities, capabilities. Some people are going to be older, younger, middle aged. Some people are going to be able to go out and patrol, and some people are going to be good at cooking. Some people may be good at gardening. And they bring those skills, that skill set, into the mix. They bring that to the table. Unfortunately, in the world that we live in today, this fast food, social media, Instagram, Twitter, whatever society, we have a bunch of people that kind of just expect to get, but they don't really want to give. It's that self entitlement mindset. But in the harsh reality of a world, or without, like in a world setting where there's no rule of law, without rule of law, WROL, there's been catastrophic disasters and people no longer have a structured government or society. You can't just go to your local gas station and get gas anymore. You can't, there's no place to go that's going to renew your driver's license. There's no established structural society. You may not have, or probably won't have, utilities like running water, electricity, natural gas, things of those nature, In those types of situations, there's going to be some harsh realities and some hard decisions that have to be made because there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be coming to the groups, the tribes, for help. They're going to be coming to you because they want to, get your help, your assistance, your resources. But the question we have to ask ourselves is how are we going to approach that if they have nothing to contribute? Now, I know this is a hard topic. This is a harsh reality, is that if somebody wants into the tribe but they have nothing to contribute, no resources, they haven't been prepping, they have no skills, they're just consumers, you have to look at the greater good. You have to look at the tribe as a whole and say, how many of these consumers can we support? How, if any, but how many? What resources do we have? And now we're bringing in other people that haven't prepared, that haven't participated, they haven't trained, they haven't been a part of our growth as a tribe. And now things have gone bad and gone way south, and now they want in. They want in. They want to be a part of what we have because they have nothing and they're desperate. And desperation, folks, will cause people to do some really, really bad things. And so we have to make some hard decisions. And so what that brings me to is that when, regardless of what organization you're a part of, it could be a number of different groups, okay? You have to ask yourself, am I a consumer or am I a contributor? Okay, the reason why we build these groups, the reason why we build these tribes is because we want to build a structure, a group of people that are willing to work together, that are willing to put in the work, that are willing to bring skills and resources to the tribe so we can join together and work together and survive together. Okay. So, what are you? Are you a consumer or are you a contributor? So, some of the things that we do in our different organizations, different tribes, may seem trivial or they may seem what I would consider to be optional. Or they may seem to be like, I ain't got time for that. It could be something as simple as a camp out or a meeting or to get out there to the range and do some training. Um, you know, working, there's no antenna on this, but working with your radios, training with these, learning how to use them, learning how to program them by hand, because you may not have a laptop computer with you, out in the field, and you may have new people coming to your tribe and to your group that may already have radios. Hopefully, they have programmed them and done their homework, but if not, you need somebody with that skill set. And the thing that I have found in this journey, in this quest for building a tribe, is there's about 85% of the people are consumers and only about 5% of the people are contributors. People who actually attend functions, people who volunteer to help organize and coordinate things, people who are willing to share their knowledge and their information and their skill set with other members. And they have resources. Yes, I believe in having extra. I don't even know how many tents I have. I just keep buying tents. I go to thrift stores and I find tents, as long as they don't smell like mold or must. I find tents and I find camp stoves and I find different things that I build the resources because I want to have the ability to help other people at least get started. Now, that doesn't mean that I'm preparing to sustain them. Eventually, they're going to have to be able to sustain themselves. But the idea is that we have extra resources that when somebody comes in and they're like sincere and they're like, listen, I don't have any money, but I do want to help out. I'll dig latrines. I'll help coordinate events or campouts, or I can cook. I don't have all the stuff, but I can cook. Well, I feel like gathering extra resources is something that I contribute to the tribe. So that way I can share with them and say, hey, listen, here's a tent. No, you're not going to sleep in my tent, but here is a tent and maybe here's an extra sleeping bag. But you've got to put in the work. You've got to pull your own weight. Folks, that's really what it boils down to. Give me a second here. You've got to pull your own weight. Just being a member of any organization, but not doing anything beyond that, not pulling your own weight, not coordinating with your local team or efforts, you're not a contributor. You're a consumer. Like I said, that could be any organization. That could be your church. That could be a volunteer organization. You can go to church all day long, and maybe that church has a soup kitchen, or they're feeding the homeless. They have maybe a closet to give people clothing and help keep people warm, coats and shoes and things that are very, very essential, taking care of homeless people, taking care of people that are struggling with poverty, single moms that, have children that need food and everything. You can go to church all day long and you can say all these prayers and you can sing all these songs and hymns. But if you're not really contributing, you're not really helping people, you're not participating in the efforts that ministry has, are you truly part of it? Or are you just there to consume? Just gimme, gimme, gimme. And that's all I want. I'm here to feed my own spiritual needs, but I don't really care about anybody else. Maybe I do intellectually, but I'm not willing to put that intellectually into actions. I'm not willing to put my mouth into practice, into actions and doing things and actual building on things. What's the word I'm trying to think of? If you're not putting your belief and your convictions into efforts, then you're basically just wasting your time and everybody else's time. And you're just basically just doing this, but you're not doing this. You're talking the talk, but you're not willing to walk the walk. And I use the church example because the church is supposed to be the place for sick, sinful, unhappy, depressed people to go to find life, to find answers, to give them, to fill that empty place inside, regardless of what your religion is. I'm not talking about religion, but you're going there for answers. But if you go and none of the people will even talk to you, then you're wasting your time. If they're just going to be like, well, we'll pray for you. We know you're starving to death, but we'll pray for you. But they're not willing to actually help you, then you're in the wrong place. You're in the wrong place. Well, folks, that goes out all through life. You can join all the organizations that you want, but if you don't have corresponding action with your conviction, you're just a consumer. So, what do you bring to the tribe? What do you contribute? In a world without rule of law, in a world situation where we have no structured society and now we're based down to survival, and I have a cat that's outside the door that's upset. But if we're in a bad situation and we're having to survive from day to day to protect ourselves, to feed ourselves, to have shelter, we're not going to have a whole lot of room for consumers. In that type of situation, you either pull your weight, you either become a contributor, or you have to go. Folks, that's the ugly reality of true survivalism and prepper community, a contingency, is that if you don't contribute, you gotta go. You can't stay in a tribe if you're not going to contribute, if you have nothing to bring to the table. Yes, that sounds cruel. Yes, it sounds mean and heartless. But we're already going to be dealing with children, most likely, that we have to take care of, and our families and our resources are going to be very limited. So you have to ask yourself now, am I a contributor or am I a consumer? So say you're a part of an organization, and it could be any group. There's a bunch out there. And say you've joined this organization and you've signed up, you're an official member, you've gone through their vetting process, whatever they require. And they have events. You don't participate. They call for volunteers. You don't participate. They offer training and discussions on how to be better prepared for different scenarios and situations, but you don't participate. They call for events that we can get together and share information, but you don't participate. We fall back into that, what I call the rule of 95-5. Maybe I did my math wrong earlier. I don't know. Haven't had enough coffee. 95% of the people are consumers, 5% of the people are contributors. If you're not going to participate and you're not going to pull your own weight, then you are a consumer. You're not a contributor, you are a consumer. And that could be in church, it could be in any type of organization. Look at work. Look at how many people you work with. About 5% of the people do most of the hard work, and then you got the other 95 that complain about how much they're not getting paid, or they're getting paid, about how they hate work and hate life and everything. And they're just consumers. They're there for a paycheck. That's because what am I going to get out of this? Well, folks, when you're in a tribe, you have to change your mindset. You have to be more of, what can I bring to the table so that we can all survive together, as opposed to, well, what am I going to get out of this? Because, folks, in a bad situation where it's life or death every day, there's going to be many, many, many people that are going to be unable to survive because they've never learned how to be contributors to the tribe. They've always been consumers. They've always just expected to get something. They're overly sensitive and they're overly needy and they they're easily offended and they're just there. They're just there because hey, I joined, now I want what you can give me. And this is happening across the board with jobs, with social groups, with ministries and church groups, with prepper groups, with so many different aspects of society that we have way more people that are consumers. Look at our whole society and their whole marketplace. It's all based on consumers. I get on Amazon and I hit some buttons and do some searches and I find what I want. I hit the button and I get it in a few days. We're used to that. I pay a little bit and I get something back. We're not used to giving. We're not used to being generous. We're not used to helping other people because we've become spoiled in society, because we've become very expectant that, well, the government's going to take care of us, or the police or the government's going to protect us, or, whatever. Folks, in a tribe, and I'm just going to say it now, if you're going to be a part of the tribe, you have to learn how to be a contributor. Now, not everybody can contribute the same. Not everybody can participate in everything. Not everybody can give the same amount or same level. And I'm going to share with you something that a minister told me a long time ago. And in fact, it was part of a message. Now, for those of you that don't know me closely, I am an ordained minister. And I'm not talking about just, there's lots of ordained ministers out there. And I'm far from perfect, and I'm not participating in any particular ministry or anything like that. I used to be. I used to preach every Sunday and Wednesdays and all that stuff a long, long, long time ago, many, many years ago. But that's part of who I am, is ministering to people on a real level, on a gut level, and not being religious about it, because I don't like a lot of this organized religion today. I feel like we've lost our way. We've become way too focused on gimme, 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 that consumer mindset, where it's every time you turn on the TV and you listen to a minister, they're asking for your money. They want. But when it comes time to paying your bills and you're struggling and feeding your kids, where are they at? So I used to deal with some things, as we all do, and I felt very inadequate, very under-equipped, very unable to do the things that I wanted to do, to be able to help the people that I wanted to help. And this older minister told me, go in the strength that you have. And I could hear the mic drop. Go in the strength that you have. Now, I know I'm pretty harsh and pretty critical about people just being consumers. I know that I'm pretty rough and kind of maybe even make some people upset or feel bad about just being consumers. But if you go in the strength that you have with a sincere heart, with a sincere attitude of wanting to learn and wanting to grow, do what you can. Do what you can. But don't do anything. Okay? Do what you can. Say, listen, I don't have much. Like when Jesus talked about the widow and about how, when they were coming to give their tithes or whatever it was, and don't quote me on this, but he was talking about how the rich Pharisee and people were given, because they had great wealth. They're like, look what I got. I'm putting $100,000 in the bucket. But then you had this little woman who had nothing. And she had maybe a penny or maybe a farthing, something that was so insignificant to the rest of the world. She put that in. And Jesus he was just like, wow, the faith. She gave far more than everybody else. And of course, the people around him were like, what? She only gave a penny. This guy gave $10,000. And I'm just modernizing this story. But, Jesus looks at him and go, the guy that gave $10,000 is Elon Musk. He can throw $10,000 out the window every second for the rest of his life and never run out of money. But this woman, this widow, single mom, gave her last penny because she believed in something greater than herself. And he said, you know what? She gave far more than all the rest of these rich people out here that are looking for status and they're looking for recognition. She went in the strength that she had. She gave what she could and what she had. So, folks, even if you don't have anything to contribute, have a willing attitude to say, you know what, I'll wash toilets, I'll dig latrines, I'll pick up trash, I'll go pick up sticks so we can have a campfire at this event. I will pick people up and give them rides to events. I will show up and be willing to learn things that I never knew before. I'm willing to put forth some effort. Folks, and you know who you are. You know who you are. And I'm talking about my friends and my colleagues and my people in the organizations that I'm a part of. You know who you are. If you don't contribute, you're just a consumer. If you don't have the willingness to get out there and help, do something. Do something. It doesn't have to be extraordinary. You don't have to teach a class on CQB. You don't have to, run a firearms range. You don't have to feed 10,000 people. But just be willing to help out. Show up to events and learn. Be willing to learn. And so your ability to contribute will grow over time. So are you a contributor or are you a consumer? If you're going to be a part of the tribe, a true part of the tribe, you're going to have to learn how to be a contributor. Because when bad things happen, there may not be enough resources for consumers. There may not be enough for people who are not willing to put in the work. You may end up outside the gates, outside the fence. Because if you have nothing to contribute and all you want is just gimme, 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 I'm entitled because I signed up, you're going to be disappointed. We're going to talk about this more over time. And this is some harsh truth. And the title of this video is, are you a contributor or a consumer in the tribe? Are you a contributor or a consumer in the tribe? And I think this should hit home with all of us that are in this lifestyle, in this community. And this could go for any organization, not just the ones that I'm a part of, or really the one that I'm a part of. Those of you that are watching this may know, it doesn't matter. But the point is, are you a contributor or are you a consumer? This is JW, Ronin785. Thanks for taking the time to listen to my rants. Folks, I am not one of these content providers where I'm going to beg you for likes and subscribes, though I do appreciate it. I think I got like 10 subscribers right now. With all the views that I've had on my videos, I'm kind of surprised that I don't have more subscribers. Maybe you just don't like what I'm saying. That's okay. I'm not here to tickle your ears. I'm here to tell you the truth. I'm not here to sell you anything. I'm here to tell you the truth and to try to prompt you into activity and prompt you into getting moving. Pull your weight. Do what you can. Go in the strength that you have. I may not always make you happy with what I say, but know this, I will tell you the truth. So please, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. There's going to be a lot more information coming out, things that I'm going to share with you, my honest opinions about things, good and bad, mistakes I've made on my journey. And it would help if you share the video, tell your friends about it, and say, hey, listen, this is something that our people need to hear. In our region, in our groups, in our tribes, in our clubs. I think this applies across the board. And there you have it. Go Chiefs. We'll see you.